Jakob Mooser is a pioneer in EMC technology. He co-founded multiple standards and developed measurement methods for electric drives in automotive technology.
So, at the moment, components that are needed for autonomous driving are being tested. This means the complete autonomous driving is not yet a component within the EMC tests, and we still have to give a lot of thought on how we're gonna test this, how we'll make that possible. It differs in many ways from the current tests. And our goal is to get back into it, to prove ourselves. I think standing still is going backwards, so you always have to try to work at the forefront.
And that has long been the case at Mooser. A secret test setup covered with polystyrene is located in the newest chamber. A projector shows to the layman, this is about autonomous driving. The image has nothing to do with the test. The stirrer for electromagnetic waves, on the other hand, does.
In contrast to the other cabins, you will not find any absorbers in this one. This is a special version. There are only two so-called reverberation chambers accredited in Germany. One of them is available with us, and I'm very happy about it. At the moment, we're taking measurements for autonomous driving.
Early on, Jakob Mooser invented the E-chamber for all electric drives and developed it further with suppliers and automobile manufacturers. Actually, it's not just any, it is his chamber with a measuring concept for hybrid, electric and fuel cell drives.
The concept is still valid today, and I think this is the best facility for electric drives in the world. You can test everything here, from single motors to gearboxes, hybrid drives, double axle motors, and so on. You can also test commercial vehicles with drives up to 1,000 kilograms, 500 kilowatts, 250 kilowatts. It is really universal.
Christian Lemmlein, the deputy laboratory manager at the Ludwigsburg location, gives more detailed insights into the core of the E-chamber.
The test items in the E-chamber are always drive motors in combination with inverters. On the back side, we can now see the adaptation to our E-chamber. The special thing about it is that the load machine is outside the cabin, so it doesn't affect the test results. We can use it to evaluate the real test cycles that a vehicle also experiences. That means I can accelerate, I can react, I can give high torques, high speeds, simulate braking maneuvers, and I can also simulate drive accelerations.
If the E-chamber is not used as such, it can be added to the existing 16 anechoic chambers and can be used as well for the EMC tests according to the worldwide standards for the automotive, military and railway industries. Of course, Mooser also certifies products for every market worldwide. And they are happy to support their customers, ideally at the very early sample stage of development.
The earlier you test, the more affordable and better it is. We are very often involved in the development stage with our customers. Often, customers do not have their own measuring equipment, and so they are happy about our know-how offer on the development. They come with finished components, regularly in an A or B sample condition. These samples will then get tested and developed further and further until all target values are met eventually. And the components are ready for serious production.
Anyone who enters the Mooser facilities will find an invention by the founder Jakob Mooser in almost every room. Here too, as Christian Lemmlein tells us.
We do the shielding attenuation by means of our large strip line. The strip line is a measuring method that was specially developed by Mooser. The advantage of the large strip line is that a field can be generated over very large areas. At the testing facility Mooser, we can test the shielding attenuation measurement on different materials, up to shield housings.
But how did Jakob Mooser start more than 30 years ago?
Ja, angefangen als Garagenfirma.
Yes, it started as a garage company. The garage wasn't a real garage, it was a sea container with a shielded room in it. That wasn't that easy. It was a bit too small for measurements and I had to improvise sometimes.
Dann musste ich da improvisieren manchmal.
When I wasn't absolutely sure about my results, I took the customer back to the hotel and got my test items out of the cabin and continued my measurements in the garden all by myself. Only then, when I was really sure, I picked up the customer on the next day.
That was in the small quiet Tanning near Munich. Today the semiconductor measurements are also performed here, by Volkmar Werth, among others.
Hier führen wir IC-Messungen durch.
Here, we carry out EC measurements.
Die sich lediglich auf dem
These are measurements that only operate on the chip level.
nicht ganze Komponenten,
So, really only the semiconductors
die
themselves.
Halbleiter an sich.
Here are often up to 100 layers on top of each other on a 1 by 1 centimeter chip. The metal box shields what is probably the smallest EMC test so well that the measuring devices can remain in the chamber. As soon as a chip is mounted into components, the measuring devices have to be taken outside for further tests, sometimes even beside the temperature chamber. Components can be fully tested on 1 square meter from 185 to -45 degrees. Jakob Mooser achieved a lot in his life and prepared many test paths for the automotive industry. But the 70-year-old is not thinking of quitting yet.
There is a new generation. My grandchildren will continue to run the company.
However, until the moment they can walk alone, he will provide support for them, step by step, just like he did for his customers in the automotive industry, on the path to a great future.